big warm welcome to the Bar Stewards Inquiry Day 2 Cheltenham Debrief. My name's Lee Keys of systembet.co.uk and my informed partner, John Leng of John Joe's Blogspot. John had a decent day today. If you listen to the first day of the debrief, John gave out Bob Ollinger, took me on, absolutely put me to the sword. Couldn't have Bob Ollinger beat, and Bob Ollinger absolutely destroyed the opposition in the Ballymore. And then just for the cherry on top for you listeners, John also gave the debutante at Lingfield as a special. He ended the show and said, yes, this works really nice, and he did put up a nice performance, John.
Very pleasing, yeah. He was slow from the gate, but travelled up nice. And then there was a three-way go towards the finish, and he was nicely on top at the finish. I think it's all right, probably an all right sort of.
You'd think as well, from that yard, I think they always come on for a run. And yeah. I think from an experience point of view, I think he'll come on for the run. He didn't quite get the traps right. He was nicely settled, though. I like to see that.
Yeah.
And like you say, did he? I think. If people look at the winning distance and think, well, it didn't win that far, I think it had a lot more up its sleeve than than what the official distance says. So, well done there. You picked out a really, really good horse for listeners there. On to today's review. The Irish have obviously handed our horses to us on a plate. 6 out of 7 winners would have been the clean sweep, but for Entukas dodging it for me in a finish against Sky Pirate. Some people say that's harsh, but Entukas now has been one of those that just, he won't nod at the right time. And as I said, the Irish are just completely dominating, John. Any performances today take your eye from any of the Irish winners?
Obviously, the first two, really, Bob Ollinger and Monkfish. Ollinger, I thought Bob Ollinger was probably free enough in the early stages, around the first half mile or so. Yeah. And I was a little bit concerned that he was going to be doing so much in her hands. But after that, he was swinging away, and it never really looked in doubt from the top of the hill, did it? Same went for Monkfish, really.
He didn't jump well, I didn't think, Monkfish.
I think he's still getting his shape myself, and he sort of gets ahead of himself at some fences, if you know what I mean. He's like his back end's catching his front end up half the time, and I think there's still quite a bit of improvement in him, believe it or not.
Yeah, that was a howler at the last. But again, I'm not satisfied with the form of that race. Fiddler on the Roof that's ran second, been absolutely dead all year. Dead as a dirter. Just dead inside. There's nothing there. Big like Colin Tizard is something like 1 from 47 in class 1, 2, 3 and class 1, 2 and 3 races this year. He's had a poor year.
Yeah.
And I think Cheltenham this year has been a disappointment on that footing. Bringing a point here from Ian Davies, who's a good contributor to our questions, and he said, "Is it best to watch televised racing on mute anyway? Getting an edge as a punter is all about finding legitimate opportunities to disagree with the market without disagreeing for the sake of it." Going back to the watching it on mute thing, I'll be honest, it's probably because I've done my bollocks today, and I've really done plenty. But I cannot stand the level of smoke blowing towards the Irish in a way, because us professionals in the game know what it is. It has to be some form of medication. It has to be, like you cannot just turn up like in modern times, year after year. We've covered this off on past Bar Stewards Inquiries on Friday, and the Irish are turning up. It's point and shoot. It's Blogger and Stallion's dream. Basically 8 to 11, 4 to 5, 10 to 11. Line them up, Willie. Line them up. And it's same with Gordon, and it's just, to me, I'm seeing less and less value in this festival, and I think it's bad for national hunt racing. I think if I was a British trainer, for example, would I be bothered at running my horse at Cheltenham? No. In fact, I wouldn't. I'd try and mop up all the races all year where they're not off. People aren't off. People are just having spins just for this meeting, and I'd be winning all the 2-bit races, or if you like. But I said 2-bit. Some of the prize winning races and handicap hurdles, except for the Betfair hurdle, he's more than the county hurdle at Cheltenham and always has been. That'd be my tactics. I don't know about you.
Well, the Rockies seem to know what's going off here, because the front ones in the markets are all sharpening up pre-race. There's nothing getting pushed out. I mean, to be honest with you, I haven't been interested enough to look at the overall percentages on the books, but I would imagine they're fairly tight percentages. And it just really hasn't been, for me, a particularly attractive festival to bet on.
No.
Even though as things have panned out, I've done all right. I'm in the process of doing all right. I think the Rockies have gone a long way towards putting people off back in the front end of the market, which surprises you really, because as a rule you'd say the Rockies always want to get the fab in the books, but they haven't given me that impression this week.
Well, it's like the bookies' tactics this week have been, it's like the coupons. It's like Manchester City. It's like the big teams. Basically, everything's priced up short because they know what punters are going to back. You know, and it's the thing is they're all winning. Well, most of them are. From us, our point of view as professionals, you know, you're looking for value. You're looking for decent betting opportunities, and I'm sorry to say, it's just not there. It's just you either rowing with the hot, or you end up looking like a fool. Or that's what it seems. You know, in recent festivals, it's just.
So we've got it, isn't it? You know, it's not good.
I don't think so. I think it kills the national game. I think there was a time when, you know, there'd be Cheltenham festivals and it'd be so competitive and it'd be so. But look, I mean, anyone that's listening to this can argue with me and say, you know, what evidence have you got? You're talking rubbish. I mean, I am guessing on this, but it has to be something. You know, you can't have like top trainers that we've got that you know, they're no idiots, and they're just getting absolutely trounced. And I mean trounced. It's not even a, you know, in the graded races anyway. It's just there's absolutely no hope. And I don't know. I just find it very flat, very uninterested. And it'll play out over the next 2 days, I'm sure. And maybe I'll have egg on my face when British train winners end up, you know.
Well, you might win the mountain pipe or something.
Well, that's it. I mean, we're all right. I mean, the thing is, I think we're all right in handicap races because of the amount that the handicapper adds on to their runners. I mean, what is it for the herd? Is it 10 or £15 on Irish marks, and then you know they always had plenty on, and I think that's where, you know. And I mean, yeah, again today we had the mare. By the way, I'm not knocking Put the Kettle On's performance, because you'd have to be a bit dead inside not to enjoy that finish. You know, when she battled back as she does. And I mean, tough as teak, but again, you know, the £7 thing comes in again, doesn't it? You know,
certainly. Yeah.
You know, championship races, and you know, you're having to talk about, well, you know, like I said, I don't mind mares getting an allowance, but £7 for me, if you do it. So if it's £1 a length, if that's,
I mean, that was different to yesterday, wasn't it? Because I mean, that one today, if that doesn't get the allowance, that doesn't win.
Well, that's it. Put the Kettle on. If Put the Kettle off levels today, she's not a champion chaser. Whereas I take the points. Honeysuckle yesterday would have won with the £7 on. in my view. But yeah, anyway, we'll go through the results today to see what we thought of the racing. So the Ballymore, John was very confident on Bob Ollinger. Pulled its nuts off all the way around, John. Do you agree with that?
Yeah. Minimum fuss after turning in. Good house. Yeah.
It is. He's got speed. He's got a nice blend of speed, and there's absolutely no. There'll be no problem with him at 3 miles. Yeah, I think he'd be versatile with regards to trip. Actually, he's just a class act. Can't take much away from him. Brave Man's Game, obviously my choice, absolutely thrashed. Yes, was I disappointed? Yes. I still think he's going to be a fabulous chaser, but I'm kind of learning my lesson now against going in balls deep, if you like, against the Irish.
I would just say, like, at risk of sounding like the bloke who wrote Mrs. Brown's Boys and wanted to take credit for writing a comedy, the Cooley Park horse at Bob Ollinger must be some tell.
Fernie Hollow, yes.
The one that won last year.
Well, I mean, I followed Bob Ollinger like all season, and I was amazed that Bob Ollinger managed to shove Fernie Hollow that close when Fernie Hollow jumped like an absolute stag that day.
Yeah.
I think I said to you on one at Cass we've done recently, and I said, Bob didn't jump anywhere near as fluent as Fernie Hollow, and yet only went down in a driving finish. So probably more fool me there for not maybe covering Bob today, because I always liked him. I just went with sheer gut. But anyway, a great pick, John. Pleased that one of us made a few quid there. Yeah. 155, we've covered Monkfish, and what a bad eat that was. The 230, the Coral Cup, obviously the one that made all stormed away. No one else got a look in, really. He just quickened off the bend, and that was it. But a bit of a,
It was a bit disappointing. Nobody took him on early, wasn't it? Really, I mean.
Yeah, easy enough lead. I can remember him running. I was playing the race in running, and I'm thinking, right, I don't want anything too far back here because I don't think they've got a breakneck gallop. So I'm trying to spot something that I like at a price that's sort of got a nice position. I didn't have a play in the race, but I can understand why it's made all, because I think it possibly had the run of the race there. Then the Queen Mother.
That's all 5th and 6th there.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. Did you get any enhanced place terms there on Yannicka and Birchdale?
I did on Yannicka.
That's all right. Yeah. Champion Chase obviously put the kettle on. Really game win. Beating Nube Negra into second with Chacon Poissoir in third. I was a bit disappointed with Chacon Poissoir, to be honest. I thought he jumped well, did everything right, and was beaten fair and square, really.
Just went out halfway up the hill, didn't it?
Yeah, just seemed to just not find anything in that last sort of 100 yards. And then the talking point of the day, I think here, Tiger Roll in the cross country, John.
Fantastic stuff. I'm so pleased that the owner's going to be chewing his knackers off tonight. He's trying to be the clever boy and calling the handicapper all sorts for the way to give it for the national. If the handicapper had this evidence to go on, he'd probably put him up. Now he's going to. He's always going to be left wondering, isn't he? And good enough for him, I say.
I mean, the thing is for me. I mean, he was moaning about the weight for the national, but when you consider that, I mean, he were off. What did he do off last season? 159 last season. Did it really well?
He had to go, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he weren't going to leave him on the same mark. That's just doesn't happen. So I don't know. I like you say. I hope this victory in a way tastes very sour, because, I mean, turning down that sort of prize money because of your pig-headedness. I think, like you said, there's no reason for him to be like that. Really, he could have waited. I mean, that shows you what an idiot he is. I mean, the fact is, you just wait and see what happens there, and then you go from there, don't you?
He could have took out on the line of the race.
Yeah, I think it's just
and made just as big a fool of himself.
Yeah,
as he has done. But no, he had to make a fuss and try and belittle everybody around him and everything. But no, it's backfired spectacularly there with old Sneezy getting a tune out the arse.
Yeah, good old Sneezy, improving him from Gordon, John.
Unbelievable, yeah.
What a great trainer she is.
She's looking promising, isn't she? I mean, you'd see somebody sending her a PO next year.
You'd say to the likes of Michael O'Leary, you'd say, well, why are you bothering with Gordon?
Yeah.
Denise's Sneezy's a bit better than
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right, we go to the Johnny Henderson. Ruined a bit for me. I didn't like the course switch. Did you?
No.
That looked like a proper rabbit hole, like as in flapping track. Let's tight rail. Let's go as fast as we can and keep going. I didn't think that had anything to switching the tracks for that race at all.
It did not. No.
Sky Pirate getting a lovely trip through. Did well. I mean, followed Sky Pirate since it dropped back to 2 miles. I remember talking to Catherine about it earlier in the year. Thought it could be the making of it at 2 miles. I was a little bit disappointed at Warwick behind All Mankind, but obviously that's probably a different level to handicappers. And obviously he's come good today, so fair play to John Joe O'Neill getting one on the board for the Brits. Did you have a play in that?
Yeah, but I backed Ginevra's seventh.
See again.
He ran our race. He settled nicely for the kid. I just think he probably £8 more than he needs, really.
Yeah, and probably just got too far back, and on that just couldn't make the ground. And then the bumper to finish off. I mean, if you ever look at Twitter, it's fantastic. It's like the people just can't read races. I mean, everyone's like sort of saying, "Oh, I told you Segura to beat, be the what." Yeah, I mean, if you watch the race, Kilcruit beats Segura in 9 out of 10 champion bumpers with a better ride. I mean, Segura had the easy leads, no problem. Rachel rode a fabulous race, pinched the race basically, and Paul Townend left napping, just sat off a slow gallop. Quite a strange race, really, for champion bumper. She
should have mixed sort of day, Rachel, didn't she? 2 winners and three on the deck.
Yeah. I mean, it was a cracking ride. I mean, can't knock the girl. She basically took. She took it up and she controlled the fractions and killed. I mean, if you've backed Kilcruit today, you're unlucky. It's the best horse in the race. There's absolutely no question. In a two-horse race, I'm sure if Paul Townend could just sit right on her shoulder, half a length down, there's no way Segura can beat Kilcruit. But
they've got no pace to this. I mean, it hasn't had a hard race, really. You'd think they could maybe run next year's Supreme Novices tomorrow and just give Kilcruit the cup, wouldn't you? Yeah. And save them popping back next year.
Well, anyways, I hope you've all had a wonderful afternoon today, win, lose, or draw. I've had a really bad one, and everyone loves someone that's had a bad day because it kind of makes you feel better. I've done 5 figures plus. I've played like an idiot. John's played like a demon, and that's where we are in our podcast today. But we'll look at tomorrow just to check if any of our selections that we fancy are we changing. John, the Marsh Chase tomorrow at Envoy Island, 4 to 9. Again, they're shortening up, like you said earlier on. You said they're shortening everything up, aren't they?
I just don't get where the demand is for people wanting to back horses at this time of night at these kind of prices. I think this is profit taking by the bookies.
Yeah,
I really do.
Completely concur. I mean, like you said, asking a professional's point of view, do we lump on Envoy Allen at 4 to 9? The answer's no. But there you go. Well, that's how it is. The Potemps Network final, obviously I was Imperial Alcazar. I'll be desperately cheering Fergal O'Brien on. I want him to have his first festival winner.
I'd love to say that. I've got the other half of the Sneezy double, but it's only a small money, so I'll be perfectly happy to say Fergal win that.
Yeah. And then the 2:30, we've got the Ryanair Chase. I'm quite strong on Mellon. Interesting that it seems as though Mellon isn't really the first two choices of jockeys. Paul Townend's chose Min, Rachel Blackmore, Allaho, and I've got Cooper on Mellon, which I'm not over enamoured with, but as I said, I'll stand by what I said, that Mellon had a complete float up at Leopardstown. This is Everest. This is what he's racing for, and I still believe Mellon will run well tomorrow. John, what were you in the?
I'm quite strong on Fakir Doderies in that.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. We had a chat about that. Yeah,
you know that intermediate trip. That's the key for me with that one.
Yeah. 305 race, the Stayers Hurdle, obviously Paisley Park. Could get one on the board for the Brits. I'm a bit nerved up at the price, to be honest. I'm not bouncing at sort of 15-08. I'm not thinking or 2 to 1. I'm not thinking let's go in and pummel this. Might be just one to savour, John.
Well, I mean the thing is, normally when a lot of favourites are going in like this, you'd expect the boatmakers to be pushing the next ones out to try and make sure they got more and more in, but it seems as though they're making it very difficult for anybody to justify having a bet half the time.
Well, it's unless you're like Blogger or you've got these like boomers on Twitter and they're having their hackers and the lucky 15s all the
not bother what price it is.
Yeah, not bother. You can't work out a price. It's like this will win. Win. It's just that's what the festival's turned into for me. It's a bit dull in terms of opportunities. We move on to the Paddy Power Plate. John, what was your interest in this? Caribbean Boy, I think you mentioned.
Yeah, it was fairly low selection, to be honest. I wasn't thrilled with the lineup at all in this. Cup of tea and a bit of pat there, I think.
Get the pay out.
Get the dog in.
Even Money Henderson not to have 3 winners or more is looking good, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, you can't see where his next one's coming from, can you?
Not really to a degree. He might sneak one in, but I'm not so sure he'd get 3.
No.
And then we go on to the Mares, the Dawn Run, Rosie's Hollow favourite. You got one in there?
I'm going to play small on Galway's. Just it's Willie Mullins and it's a mares race, basically.
Yeah.
It's at the front end of the bet.
I'd say to anyone tomorrow playing, I mean, if you fancy an Irish runner, just play, because that's where the results are going, and you have to, like I said, you can have my conspiracy theories, you can have what you like, but the fact is that the data is the data. They're winning races. They are 11 from 14 so far. So, like I say, if you think that's a freak or a fluke, then fair enough. But like I said, keep playing your Irish animals is my advice. The 450, the Kim Muir. We might have some success in this, though. We might do. What do you think? You like Plan of Attack, didn't you?
I like Plan of Attack, and I will not be letting Holden Norton loose despite misgivings about the horse's attitude.
Yeah, good stuff. I mean, Plan of Attack's interesting. I agree with you on that. I think this has been laid out for it.
Yeah, shoving the blinkers on first time as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, so...
See what his comments are. Actually, his comments are up in the post.
Yeah, so...
He's in great form. We've freshened him up a bit for this. The better ground, the better he will be. We're putting blinkers on him for the first time, and I hope he'll sharpen him up a bit. Yeah,
and a bit of extra nuts and hay to boot, just to make him run that little bit quicker. Yeah, I mean, that's more or less it from us today. I do have something interesting. John had one for you yesterday. I feel like I've got to give you one because, to try and live up to John's high standards. And there's a horse tomorrow in the 405 at Hexham called Court Ballou. He was 20s. He's currently 11s and 10s. You can take the 11s or 10s with any bookmakers. Back him each way. The stable like to land a touch with this horse. He loves it round Hexham. 3 wins round there. They have gambled him round there before, and they like to get him in the bottom level, which is in tomorrow. And I think Court Ballou is set up nicely. Probably go off about 5-1, I would imagine. That's the kind of price that's left for me after everyone else has filled the boots. So Court Ballou tomorrow in the 405 at Hexham. Right, that's finishing today's show off. We'll be back tomorrow for some more moaning and groaning, and me hopefully doing more money in so you can all laugh at me and feel better about yourselves. That's all from me and John today. Bye for now.